All right, hello everyone. So this video is to really help you guys understand the expectations for this house project. Also to give you guys an idea of kind of some shortcuts or some things that will make your life easier. So ultimately I kind of broke this front page down. You can go ahead and read this. The point of this is ultimately to kind of say like you're working on a house and you want to lay new flooring in the house. So if you look at kind of the second page that you guys should have gotten, so you got the packet and you got this page, so you got two things. This page kind of says like, hey, you bought a house, congratulations. You then look inside the house and this is kind of the floor plan. So you got your garage over here and then you come in, the garage door. When you come in the garage door, you're right here in kind of the maybe like TV or dining room where you'd put your kitchen table, and then you have your kitchen, and your living room's probably where your couch and your TV are. Then you got the foyer, that's just kind of like the entryway from the front door. You go up the stairs and then you come to the second floor here. So second floor, you got a bedroom, another bedroom, master bedroom. Some things to note in here, you got the closet and another closet. This W and D, that stands for washer and dryer. In the master suite here, you have a bathroom. I will say that this is the only bathroom on this floor. So you'll see that you have two doors because one leads into the bathroom, one leads into the hallway. So this bathroom is shared by all three bedrooms. So just kind of like this is the house you bought. Now, sometimes when you buy used or old houses, you need to put in new flooring, specifically hardwood flooring or laminate or carpet. You have a lot of options as far as the floors go. This project is ultimately you doing that. You're going to be laying new flooring in the entire house, not including the garage. You do not have to do the garage. And when you look at the other packet here and you open this up, you're going to see two primary pages. Show you this. So the first page, you'll see that it's broken down. It has the living room, the breakfast area, the kitchen, the downstairs foyer, hallway, and closet, downstairs bathroom. Go next page. You got second floor, so bedroom 1, bedroom 2, master bedroom, hallway, and washer and dryer, and then upstairs bathroom. So you basically have all the rooms except for the garage. I'm going to kind of walk you through the expectations here. But in short, what you're trying to do is you're trying to figure out the total area of all the flooring in the house. Okay. So how do you figure out what the total area is in the entire house? Well, in short, you find the area of each room. So when you're looking at these, you will find the area of each room and add them together. So here's kind of the expectations. I'm going to do the living room for you guys, give you an idea of how the expectation is for this, and then you guys will have to do the rest of them throughout this week. So some tricks to the trade from doing this over the years, some things that I've seen people do that usually prove to be quite successful, is they take some colored pencils, and what they're going to do is they're going to kind of box off each space. So let's say I do this breakfast area. Now the breakfast is separate from the kitchen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take this red pencil and I'm going to kind of roughly sketch in this space so I can see it clear as day. Now most of the shapes are going to be kind of rectangular or square. And you can ignore kind of like stairs and stuff like that. But like here's the breakfast area. So I just color that in. Okay, and then maybe I would do the kitchen. So the kitchen area is going to be here. And I color that in. And again, getting to see that this is just kind of a big square. Now I will do the living room area. So I just kind of box that in here. Okay, and this is kind of the strategy I've seen people do in the past. In a rough sense, and you can do it however you want, but like I said, I have seen this to be the most successful where people kind of color it in. And then the only other thing on the main floor, I'm going to have to go back in the packet. So we got living room, breakfast area, kitchen, downstairs foyer and closet, downstairs bathroom. So the bathroom is actually separate. So what I want to do is I'll maybe make this brown. This is the foyer area. Okay, and I need to include that closet as well. So let me just do this, and I'll kind of make this one bold shape here. And again, you don't have to do exactly like mine, but it helps you to very clearly see the images. And I actually need one more color, so let me grab, I don't know, I think this might be purple. Yeah, it's like a purple in the bathroom. So on the main floor, that's kind of like my 5 sections. Now I do have a little concern that there's some white there, so I think I'm going to turn that into a red space and kind of add that into the breakfast nook. But when you're done coloring, like everything should be colored in. And same thing when you do the second floor. Now, coming to the packet here, what I would do is the breakfast nook was red. So here where it says breakfast, I'm going to kind of color that red. The kitchen area, so kitchen, that was green. The living room, that's the first one, that was blue. And I kind of just like color coordinate them so I can see like, hey, blue area and stuff like that. Now here comes the tricky part. So the next part says sketch the shape and the dimensions. So what I'm going to do for the living room is I kind of really boldly outlined this, right? So you can see I like really boldly outlined this. And I take that shape that I just drew. It doesn't have to be the right size, but I'm going to take that shape and draw it here where it says sketch the shape. So for the living room, it really just kind of looks like this to me, right? And you're gonna, for the most part, want to try to mirror the shapes as much as possible. So check out the breakfast nook, right? So the breakfast is the second one. So for the breakfast, this is a bit of a weird shape. So I would kind of take this down, and here, let me bold it on here. Okay, so I take it down. Then I'm going to go across a little section up, across a little section down, and kind of try to mimic this shape the best that I can on my paper. So let's see it. So I take it across a little bit, then up, across, over, boom, boom, and boom. Okay, so you see that I'm trying to kind of like mirror the shapes that I have colored over here, right? See how they look exactly the same, where the living rooms, the blue ones, I'm trying to mirror those shapes, right? So you'll kind of go through, and like the brown one, that's going to be an interesting one, okay? So the brown, you're going to have to go all the way around. Maybe I show you a rough sketch of that. So let's see, that is the downstairs foyer, is the brown one, right? So that's the brown. To mimic the downstairs bathroom, or sorry, downstairs foyer, that would be almost kind of like a little flat section there, going across, right, and then going up a little nugget. They don't have to be perfect, but just trying to give a little outline. Then I went across here, and I know there's a wall there, but I'm going to kind of ignore that wall personally. Then go up along corridor, over, down the corridor, and boom. That's kind of like the brown shape, right? So you're just trying to really like mimic those shapes. Now, I will say here, looking at the picture, this section here is stairs. You do not have to worry about that. You do not have to worry about the 2-car garage. And then going up, this is also stairs, so you don't have to worry about that. So there are some sections you don't have to color in. But in short, your picture should probably look like this. Now the coloring is kind of the fun, easy part. It takes a little bit of skill to kind of sketch it over, but here comes the actual hard part, because all that should have been pretty easy. You're going to need a ruler, okay? And if you look on this piece of paper, it said centimeters. So when you're looking at the ruler, something you should notice is on one side you have the inches, 12, 11, 10. But the other side, what you're going to see right here, or somewhere on the ruler, is going to say centimeters. That matches what we need. So I want centimeters, which means I, in short, want the little numbers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper, and you have to actually measure in this picture. So what I'll do is I will measure, and like I said, I'm going to do the living room for you. I will measure the living room and see that from one wall all the way over, it's 3. So then I come to this page here, and I said from one wall to the other, it was 3 centimeters. right? So again, you measure on here, but record it over here. Now I'm also going to need to know the up and down. So I go up and down, I measure that. You can sometimes eyeball, it doesn't have to be a perfect measurement, but that does look a little bit bigger than 2.5. So I'm going to say that's 2.7. Okay, so 2.7, that was a weird 2. So I can fix that. 2.7 centimeters. And for one like this, it really is just, it's a rectangle. It's a box. So in short, area is length times width. I just need to do length times width. But this is kind of the easy part, I would say. So you got 3 centimeters and 2 centimeters. And what you're going to do now is you're going to sketch it again. So sketch the shape, sketch the shape. But this one was in centimeters. This is going to be in feet. And I'm going to explain that. It's a weird concept. So let's say I draw it again. Same shape. Draw it again. And now what I need to do is I need to take these numbers that I see here and convert them to feet. Now, in order to do that, let me flip you back a page actually. I feel like I skipped part of the directions. What this is saying on the front page, if you look right here, it says that 1 centimeter equals 6 feet. Okay, that is very important. 1 centimeter equals 6 feet. So what that means to us is that however many centimeters I have, I need to ultimately times it by 6 and it'll convert it to feet. So let me give you an example here. Let's say that I have 2 centimeters. To convert that to feet, I will times it by 6, makes it 12. What if I had 3 centimeters? Times it by 6, that gives me 18 feet. What if I had 4 centimeters? Times it by 6, that gives me 24 feet. And hopefully you're kind of picking up this idea that it's really just taking your numbers times 6. Even if your number is a decimal, like 2.5 times 6, that'll be your feet. So it's always your decimal, your centimeters, times 6 will give you your feet. Let's come back to this problem here. So for this problem here, all I need to do is times it by 6, and that'll get me to feet. So 3 times 6 would make this 18 feet. And then the 2.7, I'm actually going to need a calculator for that one. So 2.7 times 6. So again, 2.7 times 6 would give me, let me spin my paper, 16.2 feet. So I have 16.2 feet here. I have 8 feet here. And again, keep in mind what the point of all of this is you're looking at a house. If you're standing in a house, your living room is probably not 2 centimeters wide. Your room is probably 18 feet wide. That makes more sense. So it's like we're measuring it in centimeters, but then we're making it realistic and turning it to feet. Okay, so again, every single time you always times it by 6. That is the multiplying factor. They told you that. That's part of the project. So always take your centimeters times 6 and get it to feet. Once it's in feet, then you'll calculate area. So to calculate the area, I will take my 16.2 and I will times it by 18. And that gives me 291.6 feet squared for the area of the living room. Okay, so ultimately that's the process you're going to do for every single room. Now, again, just trying to help you out for conversion purposes. When you do a problem like this, you are going to need to, again, I go to this picture, you're going to need to take the measurements of like all of these little nooks and crannies. So you're going to be measuring here and measuring there and measuring here. You're going to be measuring everything, okay? At the end of a picture like this, you should have all sides, even the little ones, you should have a measurement for all the sides, okay? So you're taking your ruler, like I said, your ruler, and you're measuring every single side. You're measuring this side and this side and that little nook and that little side and that piece and this piece and that piece and this. You're measuring every single side. And once it's measured, you will probably find yourself breaking it into more manageable pieces. So this one, I would probably break it into 3 rectangles. Find the area of this one, find the area of this one, find the area of this. Length times width, length times width, length times width. So some of the rooms are going to be a little bit more complicated. When I look at the sketch that I did here, the red room, going to be hard. The brown, going to be hard. The green, that's easy. It's a rectangle, length times width. Blue, length times width. When you get into these other bedrooms upstairs, and I'm looking like kind of bedroom 1, right? It's going to actually be a little bit harder, right? Because when you look at this shape, you're going to have to go around here, then over here, then up a little bit, then over a little bit, then up a little bit, and over into the closets. Like, these are not all simple shapes. Some of them can be broken down into rectangles, but some of them are pretty complicated shapes that you're going to be calculating there. So that's the first part of the project, is to go through, do every single room, good to go, okay? I already did the first room with you, so that leaves you 4 on the first floor and 5 on the second floor. Once you have all the areas figured out in every single box all the way through, you will then come down to this areas part here, add all rooms, and you'll have your total area. Now, that's the big calculation part, and that's probably the most stressful part. It's going to take you guys a couple days. But here comes the fun part then. So on the last part of it, you get to pick your flooring. Now, the first critical part that you need to see is that you do need to pick 2 different floors. It's only 2. So look at your options here. Let me see if I can zoom out without blowing everything here. Okay, so you need to pick 2 options. You can pick carpet. I personally love carpet, especially in my bedrooms. You can pick tiling. Tiling is expensive. Wood's pretty good, but it's not very durable. And then you have laminate. So you need to pick 2. I personally tend to pick laminate and carpet. Those are my choices. You will then decide what rooms they will go in. Now, looking at your floor plan, you need to put flooring on the entire first floor and the entire second floor. Okay, you need to cover all the flooring, period, no questions asked. The question you get to decide is what flooring you're going to do. Now, in my house, I put carpets in bedroom 1, bedroom 2, and the master suite. So basically, I put carpets in the upstairs, but then I went laminate everywhere else. So I did laminate in the bathroom, I did laminate in the living room, the kitchen, the breakfast nook, the foyer, everywhere. So it kind of made it easier because I could just go through and do carpet for these 3 bedrooms, figure that out, and then do laminate for everywhere else. But at the end of it, your total area, you should be covering everything. Your entire house should get new flooring. Now, how do you decide what flooring you want? If you read the directions carefully, you will actually go online to the Lowe's.com. You will pick out carpeting. You will pick out laminate. They will tell you typically a purchase price for those. Usually the purchase price, see over here it says name and cost of material. It's usually going to say something like, I don't know, maybe something like, $2.94 per square foot, right? So it'll probably say something like that. So when you figure out what your total area is, so total area, I'd take this, plus that, plus the closet probably. Maybe my total area is, 452 feet. Okay. Once you have your total area, you have your price, you will multiply them, and that will give you your total cost. Okay. So again, you find your total area, you find the material that you like, again, Lowe's.com, find the material that you like, multiply them, get the total cost. You should have 2 different floorings, so probably 1, 2. Take those total costs, add them together, and that will give you the total cost of your project. And as much as this seems like a lot of work, a couple things to keep in mind. This is typically considered your midterm project. So if you notice, we did not have a midterm test, but we do have a midterm project. This is usually your midterm project, so expect it to be some work. You will probably have to do some of this work in the evenings on your own. You know, you only have 3 days of class time and the weekend to get this done. But it is also a very practical project. You would be surprised how many of my friends have bought houses, and the first thing they do when they get into a house is they buy new flooring. The thing is, when you're buying flooring, you can't just willy-nilly go out and say, I'll take 100 feet of flooring, because you don't know how much flooring you need, which is where something like this comes in handy, because they measure the size of the room. They find the size of the room to be 291 square feet, and then they use that number to figure out how much flooring they're going to need. That's basically what you're doing. Find the area, and then figure out how much it's going to cost you to replace the flooring. You know, you're going to put in hardwood floors. How much is that going to cost you? I had someone one time find diamond embezzled tiles, and it was like $100 per square foot. It was unreasonable, but they really liked these diamond floorings, so they put that in their house. You can pick whatever flooring you want. That's the fun part, honestly. You want nice brown hardwood floors, give that farmhouse vibe, go for it. You like tiling, that's fine. You like the Aztec design, go for it. Any type of flooring that you like red carpets, bold choice to me, but if you like red carpets, you put red carpets in your house. You can pick any flooring you want, but you are covering the entire flooring for the upstairs, downstairs. So at this point, that is all the explanations I can give you guys. That's all the hints that I can give you. You can read the front page more if you need more details. It pretty much goes into exactly what I told you. So you can read this if you want to. But ultimately, this is your house project. It is due next Monday, so you should have this whole project done. That does mean that you're going to be working on the project all by yourself without me there to help you. You can ask your friends for help. You are all doing the same project. You're just picking your own flooring. So if you get confused, help each other out. Again, you're all doing the same thing, so help each other out. You don't have to color. That's just my suggestion. I've seen people do it in the past, and it helps a lot. If you color it room by room, really helps your eye focus on like one room at a time. But that is your choice. You don't have to color it. I do know the answers to these for the record. So if you think you're going to make up numbers, I do have the numbers for each of these rooms calculated down to the centimeter, like the millimeter. So don't think you're just going to fake numbers and get credit for it. If the numbers are not correct, you will not get credit for it. I believe this project is like 30 some points, and a lot of those points come from having the correct measurements. Now, if you're a little off, that's okay. So for example, here where I said that this was 2.7, if you thought it was 2.6, you're fine, okay? You're not that far off. But if you're just making up numbers and you're like, oh, this is 4 and that's 5, you're not even close. You're not getting any credit for that one. So each of these spaces are points by themselves. You need to be detailed. You need to be organized because, like I said, this is a graded project. It's a midterm, so you will get a lot of points for this. This is more than a standard quiz. But, you know, do your best. Help each other out. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with, especially what floors you guys picked. After, like I said, one of my students one time picked diamond floors, so that was cool to see. But yeah, have a little fun with it. I know it's math, I know it's calculations, but hopefully it's somewhat of a different fun project to do. So good luck. You'll be working on this all week.